Ed and I, we've been talking about what we're going to do for people and showing them how to make 6 and 7 figures outside of the network marketing income. Most network marketing companies want you dependent on their income so they can keep you. I want you free. I want you here because you want to be here, not because you feel trapped. Man, I make too much money there and I'm trapped. No, I want you free. We want you free. Why do we want you free? Because that's what eagles are. They're free. Eagles are free. Chickens are captured. And those chickens, what do they do with the chickens? They put them in a coop. Put them in a chick. That's why they got chicken wire. They just make the chicken wire, put the little chickens in there. I was watching a documentary the other day, and I was watching it on, it's a live show, it's a nature show, and it was showing the story, and it was showing real live when eagles actually hatch and how they nurture the eagles and stuff like that. Some of you, I don't know if you've seen, I follow stuff, I get off on stuff like that. It was on TikTok. And he's always on TikTok. I am, I do. But I choose what I look at on TikTok. TikTok don't choose for me. I choose what I look at. I'm watching it. It's true. You take a baby eagle, take a baby chicken. As soon as they come out, you can't identify them. If you take the chicken, take the eagle, mix them up, say which one's the eagle, you wouldn't know it. See, at some point in time, when you were born, they mixed you up. And see, what happened is, not all of us are fortunate to be born and to be raised by eagles who understand that they're eagles. Our system, our society, and many of the influencers here will actually make you feel that you're supposed to be a chicken. Eagles don't fly in flocks. Often they're alone. And what happens is we go through the system of education, and I'm not condemning our teachers or whatever, I'm just telling you the real truth. And some of us don't accept it as truth because we said, I'm smarter than that. How could that have happened to me and I didn't know it? As Johnny always says, if deception was obvious, it wouldn't be called deception. I knew Ed was an eagle, but you know what? He had been beaten up and he had been sold a bill of goods, and what happened is somebody gave him a chicken suit. Why? Because eagle school is not easy. Some of you had the opportunity to see people or be in AP classes when you were in school. It's a little different than regular classes. It's a little more challenging than regular classes. And some of your students drop out of AP classes because you say it's a little too tough, requires a little bit too much studying. Only for a short period of time, you've got to endure that pain. You got to take an extra hour just for a short period of time. But some people don't want to take that extra hour for 3 years. Instead, they'll work for 40 hours for the rest of their life. Because it's easier. The path of least resistance is the line of chickens. I'm talking about the mentality. I'm not calling you a chicken. I'm telling you how many of us have been raised and how many of us have been fed. We've been fed like chickens. If you do this right here, I'll guarantee you this. Eagles have no guarantee. Chickens, you know what they do? Whoever runs the chicken coop, the boss, the owner, comes over there and throws the chicken feed. And what do? They just go around pecking it. Pecking. You can't get an eagle to go and do nothing like that. And I remember here I am, I'm born, obviously to two wonderful parents, and I love them dearly, and they're still around, and I'm so grateful to have both of them around, and Pops is doing a little bit better, by the way. I know many of you text me about it. And by the way, he was watching too. He says, yeah, I heard you over there talking about me, saying I wasn't watching. And I heard you over there talking trash. Right? And so here I am born to these two parents. Every one of you were born an eagle. I don't believe, I don't believe God put the spirit of chickens inside you. That's my belief. I believe the spirit of an eagle is put inside every human being that's born. And what happens is we go off to other places, and maybe it starts with the daycare person because our parents had to work real hard and send us to daycare, and the daycare has a chicken philosophy, and the daycare person spends more time with you than mommy can because mommy's got to go make it work or daddy's got to go make it work. And here you have this brand new brain. This unaltered or unstained brain that's full of empty space. It's like a brand new hard drive that has no files in it. I want you to imagine a 1 billion terabyte file that takes 80 years to even get to 10% capacity. 80 years of information. And for 6 weeks, how our system is set up in America. For 6 weeks, mommy sends the program to your brain for 6 weeks. Because that's how long she gets for maternity leave. It's 6 weeks in America, ain't it? 6 weeks. 6 weeks you'll hear the words, I love you, you're so precious, you're incredible, I love you, you're so beautiful. For 6 weeks, you will hear that from that precious voice that carried you for 9 months. And through no fault of her own, she sends you off, the most precious thing she's ever had. She sends you off to daycare. And as soon as you get there, you're no longer special. You're another crying baby that they have to tend to and put you with the other 24. When it's feeding time, you all eat at the same time, just like chickens. And you don't hear how special you are. That brain is not being programmed with that. What you hear are other whining babies, and what you hear are the comments and everything that's going on around you with the parents and all of these other, with the other workers, with all of these other kids and all of this stuff. And none of these children belong to the workers. And I'm not saying that the workers don't love the babies, but it's a job. It's not necessarily love. 5 o'clock comes, they leave. Your mom, 5 o'clock come and you're not settled, she stays. And just that gentle rub and just that heartbeat of you laying on the mother's breast, and she's holding and crowning your head and rubbing your head, that's over after 6 weeks. And you go and you spend 8 hours a day in the care of someone else who doesn't treat you special. It starts there. And then you go off to school. and you hear philosophies that may not necessarily be suited for you. You hear philosophies by people who've been beat down by the system. And I have empathy for them. They're good people, they just don't know any better. And I was trained by that system of not how to be a creator. I was trained by that system of not how to be, big. I was trained by that system to stay in my lane. Walk in a single file line, stand in line. Holton, put your hands behind your back. Stop getting out of line. Stop being the class clown. She was saying, Holton, stop being free. Be like everybody else. You're no better than everybody else. Holton, in the back of the line, young man. Well, teacher, no, when we get back from lunch, I want you on your tippy toes, nose in a circle. 20 minutes, young man. Here's my creativity just being beat down. Here are my wings. I'm an eagle over here, and I want to fly, but she doesn't even know what she's doing. She's clipping my wings, and here she is. She's got me embarrassed. I'm in the classroom, and for 30 minutes, here I am, right here, on my toes. I got my nose on the chalkboard. I come down, on your tippy toes, young man. 10 more minutes. And I'm being humiliated because I was free. Here's your assignments. And they teach you how to trace. They teach you how to draw. They say, we want you to make these nice, beautiful pictures. And I go and I use my imagination because I have some kind of artist in me. And I use my imagination because I don't see what she sees. I see it differently. And Natasha would turn her paper in, and Natasha would get A's, and everything looked so perfect. And she would bring Natasha up to the front of the room, and I'd never forget, she would always praise Natasha. And I turn my paper in, and here I've got C's. And I'm sitting wondering, does she like Natasha better? Miss Davis, why can't I get an A? Buddy, because you went outside the lines. I reward you for conforming. You will get a good grade if you conform. I don't want you using your imagination. We've already imagined what life is going to be like for you. Follow these instructions. You think it's a coloring book. You look at it like it's a coloring book, and they're training many people how to conform. And now, I'm telling you my experience. Maybe you look at it differently. Johnny told me the other day that the teacher would take him and put him in the box where they would put him in the classroom on the wall, and they would put a box around him where he could have no interaction with the class or whatsoever. They couldn't see him, they could only hear him. And his face was against the wall. If he turned around, he couldn't see them and they couldn't see him. Why? Because they were not equipped to deal with talent. Chickens don't understand how eagles think. And they penalize that. And many of these eagles up here, you were penalized, and many of your children were penalized. And what we've done, we forced them. Here's how you're supposed to think. And we all do the same thing because chickens are easy to put them in line. And all you do is you get one chicken in front and you get the other chickens behind, and they all follow in line. Why? They've been trained to do it that way. You can't get two eagles to follow each other. They're creative. They're outside the lines. They're beautiful. They want to spread their wings. They want to experience life differently than anybody else has experienced life. And I went through that system, and I didn't even know what was going on. And I wondered, how do I get gold stars on mine? I would always get, a star, but my stars were either green or red. And I wanted to get gold stars. When we go to lunch, I wanted to lead the line. They will reward the top chicken by being in front of the line of leadership. They was teaching how to be the lead chicken. How do I get in front of the line and lead us to lunch? You need gold stars. How do I get gold stars? Stay within the lines, conform. Don't be creative, don't imagine. Shut your imagination down. We've already imagined what cows look like. We've already imagined what this looks like. And so when you use your imagination, we're not going to reward that. We're not going to see anything different. We don't want you to be innovative. We already have innovative people. We're training you to make sure that you're a good employee for the person who is innovative and who broke out and went to Eagle School. They don't say that, but that is the mission. This is not conspiracy. I'm not talking conspiracy. And the teachers don't even know what they're doing. And then I come home with red stars, and I come home or no stars, and guess what happens? I got punished in school. I'm at the back of the line. I got my nose on the wall up here, and then their parent-teacher conference. Well, Holton is a disruption. Holton gets bored. Holton doesn't like to do this. Holton won't do that. Holton won't do this. He won't do that. And what happens? I get punished at home. Son, you know what? No more Atari for you. Hashtag PS5 Atari. Actually, I had an Odyssey. I know you remember Odyssey, the Odyssey 3? Yes. No more for you. Why not? Because I had a talk with Miss Davis, and she told me what's going on. She told me you've been at the back of the line. She told me you've been doing this. She told me you've been doing that. Holton, read in front of the class. Miss Davis, you know I'm a slow reader. You know, and I read in front of the class, and then I stuttered, and then I felt my self-image was being beat down, and it was her way of getting me to shut up, calling on me, because I never raised my hand to read. I'm not going to raise my hand and read in front of these people. I go through all of this life, and I go through all of these people who are influences in my life, and what happens with those influences? Many of them were chickens, and every time I saw Eagle, you know, it was something about them, and I look at them a little differently, but I hadn't been exposed to many of them. I had no permission. Ed wrote a book called Permission to Succeed. It was basically permission to be an eagle. Permission is already granted. You don't need to ask for permission. You were born with permission to succeed. You should be asking for permission to stay average. That's where permission is granted, and we're not going to give it to you. And so I went through all of this stuff, and next thing you know, I get involved in network marketing, and I go to a network marketing event, and these people look different, and they talk different, and I'm confused. I had never seen anything like this. Where are all of these people? And I'm wondering, I don't see them at church. I don't see them at school. I don't see them at family reunions. I don't see them at home. None of them look like my family. It's like this foreign world, and my mind has been all screwed up, wondering, why has everybody hid these people from me? Why? And they talked about going to Eagle School. What's Eagle School? Accelerate. This is Eagle School. And I'll never forget, I went to my first event, and the mentor started talking about being free, and I'm like, what does he mean, being free? Harriet Tubman freed the slaves. We all been free. I didn't understand what freedom was. I didn't know I was enslaved. I didn't know and understand. I couldn't have told you the story that I'm telling you right now when I was going through it. The only time I was able to look back and tell you is when I overcame it and looked in the rearview mirror and says, I know that's what they're doing because I see it being done to so many people and they don't even know it. They're still standing in line. They want to be at the front of the line at work, so they brown nose. How do you get in the front of the line? Be a very good employee. creative. Everybody who works for us, we tell them we want you to own your own company. We want you to be more successful. If you ever decide, we want this to be the springboard to your next big launch or your next big idea. If you decide to stay with us, we're going to make room for you to grow. But we're not going to keep you here huddled down. We embrace entrepreneurship. And I'm watching them, and I watch. And I'm like, I watch these people go across stage. And I see them up there going across stage, and they get the microphone and tell their story. And I watch grown men and grown women, 50 years of age, cry. And I'm like, why are they crying? I couldn't relate. I didn't understand. Because they knew that they had been sold a bill of goods, and they figured out that they were actually an eagle. And they looked back and they saw so many years that they could have been flying high, but they didn't know any better. And they overcame it. I saw them and I was like, I want it so bad. And I looked at the people. I don't know about you, but there's just something. I couldn't go to an event and see people on stage, and I didn't get on that stage, and it didn't do something to me. It did something to me. It changed me. It moved me. It pushed me. It made me want to be a little bit better. And inside, I would cry inside because I knew I want what I see they represent on that stage. I just want to be free. I don't care about the Lamborghinis, and I don't care about the mansions, and I don't care about the Rolls Royces. I just want to own me. That's all. I just want to own me, HB. And my mentor would say, here's books you need to read, and I go read them. And I didn't care if it took me 10 years, I was going to read it. I figured out how to read fast. My brain works like this. I have to have headphones on with very loud music in order for me to read. Why? I got to have songs on that I know, that I'm familiar with, so my part of my brain gets to rest by focusing on a song, and another part of my brain doesn't get distracted, and I can read. If I read and it's quiet, I won't learn anything. I didn't learn that until I was in my 20s. I went through all of that school feeling like I was a second-class reader, feeling like I wasn't smart enough. I didn't know it was a blessing. They told me it was a curse. They gave me bad marks. Why? They don't know how eagles think. You can't get a chicken to grade an eagle's test. You cannot get a chicken to grade the test of an eagle. They don't speak the same language. 2 + 2 is 4 to chickens. 2 + 2 is whatever that number needs to be to win to an eagle. It's how we think. It's who you really are. Stop holding it back. Stop fighting it. Because the reward system for chickens, they put it all through school. They put it all through college. They put it all through corporate, the corporate world, and making you feel, hey, you got to dress like this. You got to do like this. And if you're in this part of the country, the corporate people, they all drive BMWs. Over in California, it was the BMW Club. Some places, Mercedes-Benz Club. If you don't have that, you're not a part of the top chickens. And I read the books, and I listened to the tapes, and every time I go to an event, my wings would grow a little bit. I'd see my wings, they get exposed. The chicken suit that I have been wearing for so long start to have holes poked in it. And next thing you know, one of my feathers would actually stick out, and I'm like, where did that come from? After I read a chapter. I read another chapter, a little bit feather pops out. I go to an event, next thing you know, I do something like this, and I'm like, where did that move come from? And that was just my wings. Why? Because eagles can't be captured like that. And I never forget when I set a goal to be free, I was this eagle living in a chicken suit, hanging around chickens. And so I started talking like an eagle. Why? Because I knew who an eagle was. I was able to identify them when they put them in events like this. That's why they called them eagle schools. It was this private society where all the eagles would come. And you saw enough of them to have evidence of what they looked like. You know what they look like? They look just like you. 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 They look just like you in the back there. They look just like you over there. They all look just like you. They came in dressed like you. They came in looking like you. Their bank accounts was just like yours. It was just like yours. Because I thought you had to be something special. But that was already done when you were born. I don't know how many billions of sperm that you beat. You won the race. You were already a winner when you got here. The mere act of birth alone says, here is the next winner. All of the other ones that didn't win went to waste. They only promoted the winner. And I get around my homeboys and they say, oh man, you talking that positive stuff. They saw my wings. And when chickens see eagles' wings, they make the eagle feel bad about being able to fly because they know that they're not willing to, but they could if they wanted to. Because the chicken is really an eagle, it's just accepted the chicken life. And when you start making those chickens uncomfortable, man, they don't want to hang out with you anymore. And I start noticing I wanted to do different things. And I didn't want to go sneak on the golf courses anymore during the day. Why? I couldn't make any money on the golf courses playing golf when I was broke. But my chicken buddies wanted to play golf all day long. And I got indoctrinated into it. I'll never forget. I'd go and we'd play two full rounds of golf. What business do I have playing 2 rounds of golf and I'm got to come home and wondering whether my lights are going to be on or not? And I'd read a book and I'd get in my car and I'd have a tape on. And for years, I never listened to the radio. If I was sitting and if I was driving, I was listening. And if I was sitting, I was reading. And I filled this brain up with so much eagle talk. I actually read my instruction manual. It was all in these books of how I work, how I operate. Start hanging around more with eagles. I got invited to more eagle things. And the next thing you know, I start to really spread my wings. Just like you guys who are sapphires. See, what you've done is you've gone through the exact same thing I've gone through. My story is just my story, but your story is yours. You made a decision. Sapphire ain't easy. I went through network marketing for, I don't know, maybe about 10 or 11 years before I did the volume to become a sapphire. But I knew I was going to do it. I never said how long it was going to take me. I never put an expiration date on it and said, well, if I don't do it by then, that means it doesn't work. I spread my wings. I grew the muscles and built the muscles up so that when I took flight, I could stay up there. Why don't chickens fly? Because they don't even practice flying enough. Their wings are designed so that they actually can fly. But there must be strength built into the wings, to the muscles that support the wings, in order for flight to be sustained. This is why when chickens fly, they'll fly from here just to there. It's called try. Oh, I'll give it a shot. I'll try my best to go diamond. I'll try my best to be at the event. What you're saying, you're speaking the language of a chicken. When an eagle takes leap from that nest, after the mommy and the daddy has actually nurtured it and made it so uncomfortable and prepared it, when that eagle takes flight, the wings are ready. The belief is there. Ed talked about belief. The belief is there. Mama eagle, daddy eagle won't let anything else come around. They want to be the only thing to condition that eagle, because they know when they let them out of that nest, you are an eagle. And that eagle doesn't know anything else but to be an eagle. This is why you have to come. This is why you have to be here. And so what I want to do is I want to bring all my eagles, all my sapphires that we need to recognize. We're going to play their names up here, and I want to show you the people that made a decision. They had a chicken suit on, but right beneath it, they had their eagle wings that were ready to fly. And what they did is they came to an event, and they found out who they were. They found out that they're designed to fly. And what you're gonna do, if you haven't earned your wings yet, you need to be the first one standing up. You need to be the one practicing, because your turn is gonna be next. Let's bring up our sapphires, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna call their names up here on the screen. Come on, give me something for our sapphires. Get on up here, fly on up here.